Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a really rigorous look at food, but not just as fuel.
Not at all.
We're going deep into a systematic philosophy that's designed for, well, for high-level healing, for mental clarity, and really for achieving optimal consciousness. It's called the Satvic movement.
And our source material for this is Subha Jain's Satvic Indian food book. Our whole mission today is to pull out the core philosophy, which is actually rooted in the Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and from there we'll get into the non-negotiable rules for how the body functions and, give you a clear roadmap for how to apply all this. It's like finding the operating manual for a clean body and mind.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Where do we start? The foundational concepts, I assume?
Exactly. It all starts with how the philosophy classifies food. It's based on these three modes or qualities of material nature. They're called gunas.
And these gunas, they dictate our internal state.
They're the forces shaping our consciousness. So the highest one is the Satvic mode, or the mode of goodness. This is what you're aiming for.
Purity, happiness, that kind of thing.
Right. Purity, happiness, compassion, even mental self-control.
And then moving down from that.
You get to the Rajasic mode, the mode of passion. And this is where most of modern life seems to be stuck.
Restlessness, anxiety, anger.
Uncontrollable desires, that constant feeling of doing and needing.
And the lowest mode.
That would be the Tamasic mode, the mode of ignorance. This is a state of total depletion.
So that's laziness, tiredness.
Deep tiredness, depression, apathy. The entire point of this whole food system is to eliminate Tamasic and Rajasic foods from your diet so you can elevate your body and mind to that Satvic plane.
Okay, so if we're talking about these modes, what's the actual, functional difference between a Rajasic food and a Tamasic food? They both sound pretty bad for you.
They are, but in different ways. It's all about energy. The Bhagavad Gita defines Satvic food as fresh, wholesome, juicy, pleasing to the heart.
The good stuff.
The stuff that increases life, health, and happiness. Rajasic food, though, is all about excess.
Too much of something.
Exactly. Too bitter, too salty, too hot, too pungent. It's food that agitates the system. It causes pain, distress, and disease.
Passion, distress, anxiety, it all tracks.
Right. But Tamasic food is, in a way, even worse because it's actively dead.
Dead? What do you mean by dead?
I mean, food cooked over 3 hours before you eat it, food that's stale, putrid, leftover. And this is a big one, anything packaged, tinned, bottled, or canned.
So basically most of the supermarket.
A lot of it, yeah. The philosophy defines it as being completely devoid of life energy or prana. And when you eat dead food, that same dead low energy gets transferred into your system.
Which I imagine is what locks the body into a state of disease.
That's the core idea. And the flip side is that when you eat food that's easy to digest, living food, you reduce the digestive load on your body.
So your body has more energy for other things.
Exactly. It can finally shift from just struggling to digest into a state of healing, repairing tissues, clearing up your mind.
So to get there, the philosophy gives us 4 pillars, right? The acronym LWPW.
Yep, 4 non-negotiables. Let's start with L for living.
Living food, so straight from nature, uncooked.
Uncooked or very minimally processed. Food that still has its prana, its life energy.
The book uses a great analogy for this.
It's so simple and powerful. A wheat seed, if you plant it, will grow. But if you plant wheat noodles,
nothing happens.
Nothing. They're dead. They have no life energy.
Okay, but the system does allow for some cooked food, so where's the line?
The line is freshness. The absolute critical rule is this. Any food cooked on a fire has to be eaten within 3 hours.
3 hours.
A maximum 5. After that, it loses its life energy. It becomes tamasic. So reheating yesterday's leftovers, you're eating stale, dead food.
And this all comes back to how your body has to work so hard to deal with that dead food. It drains your energy.
A constant drain. You're using up tremendous energy just to eliminate something that has no life force left. It leaves you tired, needing stimulants, and it just opens the door for disease because your body never, ever gets a chance to rest and repair.
So things like fruits, raw vegetables, they're considered superior because they're, what was the term, sun-cooked?
Sun-cooked, exactly.
Okay.
We think of raw as unfinished, but the idea here is that they are perfectly finished by the sun. Cooking on a fire actually destroys that vital sun energy.
And the enzymes too, right?
Yes, the enzymes start dying at just 118 degrees Fahrenheit. The book even quotes the Essene Gospel of Peace, where Jesus says something like, if you kill your food, the dead food will kill you also.
Wow.
Yeah. For burned, frozen, and rotted foods will burn, freeze, and rot your body also. It really shows you how seriously this philosophy takes the idea of life energy.
So if the goal is to get that pure living energy, that takes us to the second principle, W for wholesome. This is about avoiding fragmentation.
Exactly. Wholesome means unprocessed and unrefined. Eating food the way nature actually provides it.
A whole package deal.
That's the term they use. The biggest mistake we make is taking nature's package and throwing out the parts we think we don't need.
Give me an example of that.
The number one example is throwing out the bran from wheat or rice. You end up with white flour or white rice.
But the bran is what helps you digest the starch.
Precisely. Nature designed the bran to be the digestive mechanism for the starch. You remove it, and now your body has to struggle to process pure starch. Another one is using oils instead of the whole food, like coconut oil instead of the whole coconut.
I see. So this leads right into the next principle, P for plant-based. And the argument here is less philosophical and more anatomical.
Yes, this is a huge insight in the book. It makes the case that the human body is structurally designed to be a natural herbivore, not a carnivore.
And the proof is in our physiology.
It is. Just compare us to, say, a tiger. A true carnivore has a really short intestinal tract, maybe 3 to 6 times its body length.
To get the meat out quickly.
Right, before it putrefies and creates toxins. But humans, we have these long, winding intestines, about 12 times our body length.
So meat just sits in there and rots.
It creates tremendous internal toxicity. And then there's our stomach acid,
Which is much weaker.
almost 20 times weaker than a carnivore's. Nature just didn't give us the tools to break down flesh efficiently. It's a fundamental design difference.
Okay, but let's push back on that for a second. The modern world is obsessed with protein. High-protein diets are everywhere. How does the Satvic movement handle that?
It basically argues that for a healthy adult with a sedentary lifestyle, our protein needs are minimal, and you can easily get all you need from leafy greens, fruits, and grains.
This is where the gorilla analogy comes in.
It's such a powerful one. A gorilla can lift 2,000 kilograms. It has incredible strength. And what does it eat?
Stems and fruit.
Stems and fruit. The idea that we have to eat another animal's muscle to be strong is just challenged by looking at nature's strongest herbivores.
The book also goes into animal milk, which is a really controversial topic.
It is, and it breaks the issue down into a few levels. First, it raises serious alarms about commercial milk adulteration.
What kind of adulteration?
I mean, the list is pretty shocking. Urea, detergents, even white paint. It cites a WHO advisory that warned this kind of thing could lead to widespread, serious diseases.
Wow. That's a huge purity concern.
It is. And second, milk is just inherently heavy. It's designed by nature to grow a calf into a 2,000-pound animal in 2 years. An adult human with a sedentary life can't use those growth hormones.
So they just accumulate.
Right, in your intestines, in your blood vessels, promoting chronic disease.
So if milk is out, what's the Satvic replacement?
Coconut milk. It's called Shri Fal in Vedic scriptures, which means superior fruit. It's valued because it's so much easier to digest than other nut milks, and it has a complete nutrient profile.
Okay, which brings us to the final W, water-rich.
Yes. This one is about the composition of your daily diet. The rule is simple. 70% of your food should be water-rich, and 30% should be water-poor.
Define those two categories for us.
Water-rich foods are things like juicy fruits and vegetables. Water-poor foods are the dry stuff grains, nuts, and seeds.
And why is that 70-30 ratio so strict?
Because water-poor, dry foods in excess are considered rajasic. They cause distress, constipation. They're really hard for a modern, sedentary person to digest.
And the book has an analogy for this too, right? With a tree.
Yeah, a tree that doesn't get enough water becomes hard and brittle. Its branches lose flexibility. The idea is the same for the body. Without enough water-rich, juicy food, your body literally hardens.
Leading to things like arthritis, back pain.
Bone disorders, exactly.
Yeah.
You are literally hardening from the inside out.
And I think we need to be clear here. Water-rich doesn't mean a cup of coffee.
Absolutely not. Coffee, tea, soda, beer, they're all diuretics. They actually cause you to lose water.
They dehydrate you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
True hydration comes from living, juicy, whole foods.
Which leads us perfectly into what might be the most crucial part of this whole thing, mastering digestion. It's not just what you eat.
It's when and how you eat it. Digestion is a complete cycle. You have digestion, then assimilation, then elimination. The book uses a washing machine analogy. If you interrupt the wash cycle to throw more clothes in, or you stop it before the rinse cycle, you're left with a mess. Same with your body. If you interrupt the digestive cycle, you get undigested residue, toxins.
So the system starts with timing, which brings us to intermittent fasting.
The 16-hour fast. The protocol is so simple. Stop eating all solid food by 8 p.m.
And don't eat again until noon the next day.
Right. That 16-hour window gives your body enough time to finish the entire cycle on the day before. Once elimination is done, your body finally switches from digestion mode into healing mode.
So it's rebuilding tissue, burning fat.
Fading scars. It's shifting from just maintenance to actual repair.
And after that fast is over, the rules of combination kick in, the digestive speed limit.
This is so important. Different foods digest at wildly different speeds. Fruits are fast, maybe 3 hours. Vegetables take around 6.
And grains are the slowest.
Grains, nuts, and seeds can take up to 18 hours to fully digest and eliminate.
So that's the food coma. After a huge bowl of pasta, your body is diverting, what, up to 70% of its energy to a task that won't be done until tomorrow morning?
That's exactly. And that 70% energy drain is why the food combining laws are so non-negotiable, especially if you're not very active.
So what are the absolute must-follow rules here?
Okay, first, if you're sedentary, eat grains only once a day.
Once a day.
Second, never mix different types of grains. No rice with your chapati. Third, if you eat grain, you have to mix it with at least 3 times the amount of vegetables.
So 1 bowl of rice, 3 bowls of veggies.
Or a chapati made of half vegetables. Fourth, and this is a big one, never mix fruits with cooked food. They need totally different enzymes. Mix them and you just get fermentation and gas in your stomach.
And the last one is about drinking while eating.
Do not drink while you eat. As soon as food hits your mouth, your stomach lights up this digestive fire. They call it Agni. Drinking water, especially cold water, just extinguishes that fire.
And you're left with undigested food.
Undigested food that rots, creates toxins, and demands so much extra energy from your body. You should wait at least an hour before or 2 hours after a meal to drink.
Beyond what and when, the philosophy also talks about how we eat.
The behavioral rules are just as important. First, always rest after a heavy grain meal. Since digestion is taking up to 70% of your energy, a 30-minute nap or just quiet rest lets your body focus everything on that task.
And the second rule is about quantity.
Never, ever overeat, even of good Satvic food. The book mentions the Japanese 4/5 full rule.
Like a blender.
Exactly like a blender. If you fill it to the very top, it can't move, it can't blend. You need that empty space for the digested juices to circulate. You have to leave the table feeling a little hungry, and only eat when you feel true hunger.
And your state of mind matters, too.
Hugely. If you eat when you're angry or stressed, your energy is focused on the stress response, not digestion. That food just gets turned into toxic accumulation. You have to be in a relaxed state.
To make this practical, the book gets into specific tools and ingredients.
It does. There's a checklist of 21 laws, but also kitchen tools. Clay pots for cooking, high-speed blenders, and especially the spiralizer.
The spiralizer's a big one.
It's called a sneaky way to get more raw vegetables into your diet by turning things like zucchini into noodles.
And what about the most concentrated form of living food? Sprouts.
Vegetable sprouts are incredible. When a seed like fenugreek germinates, its nutritional content multiplies by 10 to 30 times.
Wow.
They are the absolute definition of high prana food. That life force energy is just transferred directly to you.
So what does a Satvic plate actually look like?
Well, you might start your day with ash gourd juice. It's described as being like a sponge that just soaks up and removes toxins. Lunch could be a Satvic khichdi, but following the rule, 4 parts vegetables to 1 part rice.
And dinner.
You could use that spiralizer for zucchini spaghetti. So it's raw zucchini noodles with a fresh raw sauce. Totally replaces heavy pasta. It's all about that LWPW framework.
So, to summarize our deep dive here, the Satvic philosophy isn't just a diet. It's a really systematic, integrated approach to align your physical health with your mental clarity.
And it's all defined by those 4 pillars: purity, wholeness, plant-based, and hydration.
The central idea seems to be that your health isn't just about the ingredients, it's about respecting your body's natural cycles and its laws of digestion.
Respect the cycle and respect the speed limit, the right timing, the correct combining, and the optimal quantity.
And that leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to explore. If your diet was consistently 70% water-rich, juicy foods, and you were strictly following that 16-hour fast, eating only when you were truly hungry, how dramatically would your reliance on those external rajasic stimulants like coffee or hot tea, how would that naturally just decrease, transforming that anxiety and restlessness into genuine fearlessness?
The body wouldn't need the external heat because its own internal engine would be running perfectly. That's a powerful thought, an invitation to self-discovery.
We'll see you next time for the next deep dive.